Am I live? Oh, yeah. Cool. I'm live. What? Am I live? Yeah, I'm live. Whenever I switch locations, this happens. I'm like double checking everything. This is Alpha Male 2.0, and I am Caleb Jones. This is freedom focused lifestyle design for men. Location independent income through your own location independent business that you own and you control that sets you free, and dating multiple attractive women long term without any lying, cheating, or drama. The freest lifestyle a man can possibly live in the collapsing era in which we find ourselves. As you can see, if you're watching the video version of this, and this is a podcast, so if you prefer the audio version, you can go to, let me adjust this here. You can go to, where can you go? alphamale20.com/podcast. I'm on all the top 10, top 12 podcast platforms. If you're watching the video version of this, as you can see, I am back home in my primary home, back in Dubai. I am very, very, very happy to be back. I'm having a great time. I had a great time in Paraguay. Now I'm having a great time in Dubai. Didn't even wait for the jet lag to wear off. I'm still a little jet lagged. This is my third day, so I'm reasonably functional. Not too bad, but like I kind of wait to engage in certain extracurricular activities while all the jet lag wears off. And not this time. No, people were too excited, including me. So it's a hard knock life. Let's see. Hang on a second here. Oh, where's my water? Forgot my water. All right, a little later, I have to get my water. I'll have to pause the video and grab my water. I'm new, not new again to this setup. Fucking today we're going to discuss a topic that is going to another one of the list of horrible things that are going to happen in your lifetime. Now, I don't view this as horrible, but a strong percentage of you will view this as horrible, and that is where you will not be able to be monogamous even if you try in the near future, as a near historical future, but it'll happen in your lifetime. So you can add this to the list of things that are going to happen in your lifetime that'll completely fuck up your life that you need to prepare for now. Item 1, collapse the Western world. Item 2, the possible, we don't know for sure, but the possible AI takeover. Item 3, monogamy will be impossible. What? Yeah, we're going to talk about today. Let me check the technology here. For someone who is a third year, I'll answer a few questions and we'll get to our topic. For someone who is a third year doctoral student in psychology, aspiring Alpha 2.0 doctor, no, not if you're in school for psychology. You're not going to be a doctor. I'm sorry. You're going to be a psychologist. What job title should I put on a dating app? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You're young, so it doesn't matter. If you're a third year doctoral student, I mean, what, you're 24? Doesn't matter. Not big deal. When you're a computer consultant, what exactly did you do? Fix computers? Networking consultant. I set up small networks, LANs, LANs, local area networks for small companies. Interracial couples have the highest divorce rates. I have never seen that. You need to show me stats and data. Would your models help me have good relationships with white women from Eastern Europe? Yes, I've written entire articles about how non-white men can fuck white women. And I am the only guy in the entire pickup artist red pill world to ever do that. Which is why every once in a while when I get called racist, I'm like, well, I'm the only guy who helps black guys fuck white girls and have a black son. You sound like an idiot. So yes. Have you tried ChatGPT's advanced voice mode thoughts? I'm going to wait a while until it works. I have a feeling it barely works or it makes a lot of mistakes, right? I don't like bleeding edge technology. Back when I used to play games on computers, I don't play games anymore. I will again, but right now I'm not. And it just drives my daughter crazy because she's a super game nerd. I would wait an entire year for the game after the game came out. Why? Bugs. I'm not going to spend $50, $70, $60, $40 on a game full of bugs. Only for them to fix it in a year. I'm not going to be their beta tester. So when it comes out, I set a timer, I wait a year, and then I play it. Then I have a great experience. So same deal. How do you use ChatGPT in your life? That's a very big topic. I use it constantly. It has replaced Google for me. So if I need the AI to be right, like for example, I'm going to Pakistan in December, had to look up if I need a visa. So I'm not going to ask ChatGPT for that. I'm going to ask perplexity.ai because perplexity.ai gives you links. So if it absolutely cannot be wrong, I use perplexity.ai. If it's not as a necessary for it to be right or wrong, it's just helping me out, I use ChatGPT. I use it instead of Google. I don't use Google anymore for anything. Also, thoughts on doing an AI about how to use AI to hit your goals. Oh, how to do a live stream? Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Do you use a VPN? Yes, several. What do you use? I don't know if I want to publicize the VPNs that I use. I don't think that's a good idea for me. I use a big mainstream VPN that you probably heard of, and I use another VPN as an alternate in case that doesn't work. Yes, if you travel outside the United States, outside of anywhere, you need at least 2 VPNs. It's a necessary tool. I use them regularly. There are certain things, websites in America that don't work here in Dubai. I have to use VPN for. Not very many, but a few. Like, I donate to charity every month. The charity I donate to, their website's blocked from anywhere outside the United States. So to give them my money, I have to VPN to get their fucking website, for example. What do you recommend for a psychologist, doctor, PsyD? Oh, I see. You're going to have a PhD doctor. Got it. Deciding on what to charge high income clients, i.e. surgeons, for individual therapy. Your question is too broad. Charge as high as you can and niche as narrow as you can. Surgeons is not a niche, more narrow. Thoughts on Hanoi, Vietnam? Awesome. Awesome. I was going to make that one of my flags, and I decided not to because I'm trying to simplify my life. Love it. I want to see clients exclusively telehealth. Okay, I understand. When figuring out your vision and mission, does it help to write it out in the third person? It can. If that helps you, yes. There's no rules in terms of the structure for a vision. Mission, there are lots of rules. Vision, yes. If that helps, sure. That's perfectly fine. So Joe has this, Joe has that instead of I have. Perfectly fine. That's fine. When you read it to yourself, if you read it aloud, you want I. But when you're developing it, do anything you want. Perfectly fine. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Is male surgeons nearing retirement a niche? No, it is not. Too broad. I hear Dubai has a lot of mass surveillance. Does that concern you? You mean like London? No more than London. London has more than Dubai. Most Western cities have more than Dubai. No, that doesn't bother me. Today, we're going to talk about privacy and how you don't get it anymore. You're not going to have it in the future. So does it bother me? No. Nope. And I'm a guy who keeps a few things private, but most of my life is not private. I'm an influencer. I hate that word. So I'm very public with all kinds of shit in my life, aren't I? Including my very deep personal life, aren't I? Don't care. Outcome independent. This thing about privacy and freaking out about it, we're going to get to this in a minute, is outcome dependence. You're being a right-winger. You're trying to fight the change. How's that working out for you, right-wingers? How's America doing? How's the UK doing, right-wingers? Is that working out? Fighting the change. No. What are the trees that survive a hurricane? The big, thick, powerful trees break in half. The smaller trees that are bendable, they survive because they're flexible. I'm not saying being a left-winger. Left's insane. You get my point. We're going to talk about that. Read Marcus Aurelius Stoicism. It was great. Yes, it was amazing. I agree. Yep. Is being a lawyer or attorney or something related compatible with the Alpha 2.0 lifestyle? One of the requirements for Alpha Male 2.0 business is that it's in a non-regulated industry. So if you somehow remove yourself from the regulatory aspect of being an attorney, yes. And the way you do that is you don't call yourself a lawyer. You call yourself a legal expert. Or blankety blank expert. You don't call yourself a lawyer. And then my understanding is you're separated now from all the rules of your bar association. If you do that, yes, the answer is yes. London has the highest density of CCTV. You are spot on. I know. As usual, Dubai is far less bad in every respect than most Western cities. Dubai's bad because, and then they name a reason that's happening in their Western city. Dubai is less bad than almost all of your Western cities, folks. Why do you think I live here? You think I didn't do any research on this stuff before I moved to Dubai? Hello? Dude, it's so awesome here. And the weather's getting perfect here now. I'm so happy. I was happy in Paraguay. I'm happy here. Alpha Male 2.0 is the best life you can possibly live for the typical Western man. It is. You should do it. I don't know what the hell you're waiting for, most of you. Some of you are already doing this. You're my brothers. You already know. You guys already know. But some of you are like, You got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Somebody just like, well, I don't know. What if I pick the wrong niche and girls don't like me? And all right, keep making excuses. That's great. All right, 1 or 2 more questions. Would you advise others to always use a VPN so your ISP can't spy on you? No, I think that's overreacting. No. Or is this 2% rule set paranoia? It's not paranoia, but it's in the zone of paranoia. It's not paranoia. You could make an argument for it, but I think it's an overreaction. Plus, they don't care about you. People like I better cover my camera because the FBI might watch me jerk off or fuck my girlfriend. They don't care about you. And they can turn that fucking camera on even if it's turned off. If you have an iPhone or one of the new Androids, they don't care. They don't even care about me. I'm probably more famous than you, and they don't care about me. They might care if you're Elon Musk, but are you Elon Musk? Probably not. All right, last question. For starting multiple businesses, does each business need a separate LLC bank account? No. Running out of the same business at least for a long time. Or could we use the same one for all? Yes. So Alpha Male 2.0 and Unchained CEO are run from the same LLC called DCS International. Perfectly fine because it's all online. Now, if you do that, you need to have your bookkeeper set up a system called classes or subcategories, depending on what system you're using for your books, because you want to run separate P&Ls for separate businesses within the same checking account structures. That's really important. So I can run a P&L for Alpha Male 2.0. I can run a P&L for Unchained CEO, even though it's coming out of the same checking account. Make sense? I can run a P&L for every individual product I sell. Really important. So you don't run one P&L for everything. You can when you're first getting started, although you shouldn't get started with 2 businesses. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't be doing that. All right, let's talk about our topic today. Put this mouse down. Get the fuck over there. How do I begin? Usually I have no problem beginning. I know what I'm going to tell you. How do I best begin this? I'll begin this way. I've talked about this before. A billion years ago, when I was in my very early 20s, I lost my virginity late because I was a beta male raised by a woman who was a former Catholic nun. True story. You can read my blogs and stuff. I lost my virginity to a married woman, ironically, who was like 17 years older than me. So I was in my early 20s. She was like 40 or 39, something like that. This is a long time ago, so the numbers are a little hazy. She was married. And the reason she was cheating on her husband is because her husband would go off on these sales training trips for like 3 months at a time. And this was a super horny, high sex drive woman. So if you marry a super horny, high sex drive woman and you leave her for several months, guess what she's going to do? She's going to go fuck the 21-year-old guy at the office who is the computer nerd consultant in the office, who I was. So here's what she did to make sure she didn't get caught. Okay. And I've mentioned this before. I'll go into more detail about this now. We're going back here to put this in context. This is pre-internet and for the most part pre-cell phone. This is like 1990. Oh, I don't know, 1 or 2, early 90s, not 1990, but like maybe 91. So cell phones existed, but they weren't ubiquitous. And so just for context, okay? And the context is important because it leads up to the point I'm going to try to make here. Not the point I'm trying to make. I'm right about this. So here's what she would do. Oh, rewind for a second. I have talked about on my blogs and books many times. When men cheat, they almost always get caught because A, men are stupid. What have I always said? Men are dumb. Women are insane. You just assume it and you'll probably always be right. So because men are dumb, they get caught because they're dumb. Second thing is that men are wired biologically and programmed societally to a degree. So obviously biological wiring and societal programming, both, to brag about sexual conquests. If you're a monogamous beta male with a standard, average ugly girlfriend or wife, and you have sex with someone who's kind of cute, what is the first thing you want to do when you're done? You go back, you want to tell somebody about it. Like, this is fucking awesome. You want to brag, don't you? And so men have a very hard time keeping their goddamn mouths shut about these kinds of things. Therefore, you add that to the fact that they're dumb, they get caught almost 100% of the time. If you're a man in a monogamous, quote unquote, monogamous relationship where you're cheating, you're going to get caught. The odds are, well, no, I'm really smart. And I have 2 phones and I have 2 laptops and I don't care. You're going to do something stupid and get caught, statistically speaking. I have also said the opposite. Women, when they cheat, often get away with it. Why? Because women are 2 reasons. One is women aren't dumb. They're insane. That's why they cheat, and they cheat with the wrong guy. And, okay, yes. So they're crazy, but they're not dumb. So women, when they cheat, they're like CIA agents. They're like ninjas from Shogun. They're amazing. The shit, I'm about to give an example in a minute, but this is just a small example. I'll give you many examples, okay? And women are trained societally to shut the fuck up when they have a bunch of sex. Women don't brag about all the guys they fuck. It's the opposite. So their biological wiring and their societal programming actually assists them in being able to successfully cheat. There are hundreds of millions of beta males right now, and a few alpha male 1.0s whose monogamous girlfriends or wives are fucking other guys right now, and they have no idea. Some of them, sadly, are you. Some of you are in my audience listening to the sound of my voice. I'm sorry, statistically, you'd be surprised. So, anyway, that's the background. So, here's what she would do as an example for women turning into ninjas where they cheat on their husbands and boyfriends. I would go to her house because he'd be gone for 3 months, right? So I'd go to her house, right? And so this was when I was living in Portland, Oregon. And she would say, now, wait a second. Before you come here, you need to park 2 blocks down the street. What? I'm a dumb 20-year-old kid. Well, why? I just park for your house. No, I don't. She didn't want anyone to see a strange car parked in front of her house. She didn't want the neighbors to start talking. So she's thinking ahead. I said, oh, okay. So I'd park 2. I did this for a year and a half, twice a week. Park, I'd park on the side of the street, park 2 blocks, and walk down her house, knock on the door, hide, come inside. And she also would time it for me to come over when the most amount of her neighbors were at work and didn't see me enter the house. This is what women do when they cheat, ninjas. So I'd go into her house. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? She's like, whoa, 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 speed racer, slow your ass down. She goes, don't touch me. Don't even touch me. Sit on that couch. Here's the remote. Watch some TV. I'm going to go upstairs and call my husband. And this was her ritual. So I'd take the remote. I'd sit on her couch. I'd watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. Okay, this is like 91. And I'd watch Deep Space Nine, the earlier episodes, which weren't very good. Okay. Was Babylon 5 out by then? I don't remember. Maybe. And she would go upstairs to her bedroom and she would call her husband at the hotel he was staying at on the landline in the hotel room, not cell phone. Now, again, cell phones weren't ubiquitous. I don't know if he had a cell phone. I don't think he did. But even if he had a cell phone, maybe he did. I don't remember. But even if he had a cell phone, she's like, no, I'm not calling the phone. I'm not calling his phone. I'm calling the phone in the hotel room. So when he picks up, I know he's in the hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia, or Denver, Colorado, wherever the fuck he was. Because she had grown up, her generation, on all these stupid TV shows and soap operas where, the wife cheats on the husband with the hot younger man, and then the husband comes home for his business trip early. Hi, honey, I came home early to surprise you. And then, so she had these thoughts in her head. So she wanted to make goddamn sure before she started having sex with me that husband was definitely, 3,000 miles away in his hotel room. And she's a woman. Okay. This is how women cheat. Oh, honey, I miss you so much. No, okay, I love you. Talking like nothing's wrong. I love you. I miss you. Blah, 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 blah. Click. And then we'd have sex in his bed without a condom because she was married and she had her tubes tied. She already had a kid who was like, a little younger than me and didn't live there. She lived alone with her husband, I should say. And yeah. And I did that shit for a year and a half. Had a great time. She was fantastic. As always, with all the women I've had sex with, almost all of them, we're still friends. I just spoke with her 3 years ago. She's an old lady now. Very great person. Had a great time. To this day, she is still married to the same guy. And he has no idea that she cheated on him for a year and a half with a younger man, 25, whatever years ago. Because that's how it works with women. Now, what does this have to do with the topic I'm talking about today? Sorry, I'm a little off today because the jet lag. I'm a little sleepy. I gotta my brain drifts a little bit, and I gotta reel it back in like with a fishing rod. In 1991-ish, that's all she had to do to not get caught. And you could argue that she overdid it, which she probably did. Pre-internet and pre-cell phone, like in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, it was easy to cheat on your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend because the technology wasn't there. There were no cell phones. There was no internet. There was no surveillance state. None of that existed. So it was really easy to cheat and not get caught. Super easy. That's why so many people did it. When I talk about marriage no longer working or monogamy no longer working, and people say, well, it did work in the 50s. Monogamy worked in the 50s. I always correct them. No, monogamy didn't work in the 50s. Marriage worked, in quotes, in that people didn't get divorced as often. That's true. They just stayed married and cheated like dogs. Have you ever seen the show Mad Men? 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, people cheated and cheated and cheated and cheated, and they cheated for two reasons. Okay, these are the two reasons people cheated. Number one is, in the olden days, everybody was married. Everybody. I mean, statistically, not literally everybody, but statistically. You got married as soon as you hit 18 and left high school. You got married. And as my mom explained to me, because that was her generation back in the 1950s, she said, yeah, the reason we got married so quickly right out of high school, everybody in the 50s, 40s, 60s, the reason you did that is because you were a teenager and you were horny and you wanted to have sex. And you weren't allowed to have sex in high school back in those days. And the vast majority of people didn't. There were always exceptions. But people didn't have, teenagers didn't have sex in the 50s. You had to wait till you were married. At best, what you got, and if you don't believe me, you can talk to a bunch of guys who are that old and grew up in that era. Guys who are like my dad's age. The best you would get is you would date a girl and you'd park somewhere and you'd make out and she would give you a hand job and make you come to, like, they called it giving you relief. That was a big thing back then. Watch the movie Animal House. That's exactly what they did, because that's what they did back then. But didn't have sex. You tried to have sex with your girl, she's like, I'm not like that. I'm not a whore. Excuse me? You have to marry me. Well, you can't marry until I'm 18 and I'm graduating high school. So that's when they got married. So therefore, everyone, statistically speaking, was married. So your only options was you were married and everyone else was married. So you all had to cheat in order to fuck. Okay? So that's the first reason. The second reason, though, and the more important one for this topic, and this is right under reason number one, is it was easy to cheat and not get caught. In order for you to get caught back then, you had to like really rub it in your spouse's face or your girlfriend, boyfriend's face. You had to be really stupid. And some men are stupid. So that did happen. I'm not saying men didn't get caught. I'm just saying it was a lot easier to not get caught. Okay, with me so far? So everybody fucking cheated. Now, let's fast forward now to today, and then we'll go into the future, the near future, in your lifetime future. Today, 2024, can you cheat? Can you get into a monogamous relationship in the first world, the Western world, and cheat on that person and get away with it? Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Of course it is. Is it easy to not get caught long term? No. It's a lot more difficult now, isn't it? Everybody has a smartphone. You got all kinds on your apps on your smartphone. You have texting, you have SMS texting, you got WhatsApp, where your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse texts you, and if you don't text back quickly, she's like, what's wrong? None of that existed just 25 years ago, 30 years ago, right? You got their surveillance state. You can get arrested or have a problem. There's 14 pictures of you, cameras. It's a lot more difficult. Internet, you have your search history. You have your email. She can check your email. She can check. I mean, you've heard of the numerous scenarios that, just like I have, of people who got caught cheating, men or women, and technology had something to do with it. Matter of fact, the vast majority of the time, social media. So let me back up. The vast majority of the time, it is technology related. Social media. You have everyone putting your personal life on blast. You didn't have that prior to 2003. This is new. So your social circle can like rat you out on Instagram, on a Facebook group, on whatever, right? So you can still cheat, but it's a lot harder. Going forward into the future, here's my statement. I'm going to back it up. It will not be possible to cheat and not get caught. At some point in your lifetime, well, when exactly this happened, Caleb, I don't know. I'm not a technologist. I'm not a futurist. I don't know. But I know it'll happen in your lifetime unless you're over the age of 80. If you're a very old man, you're probably fine. If you're under the age of 80, this is going to happen at some point in your lifetime. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 22 years from now. I don't know when, but I know you'll be alive, which means you'll have to deal with this. You will not be able to cheat and not get caught. She will know if you fuck someone else. And in many respects, she will probably know the minute you do it with the modern. And if not, she'll know shortly after. You will not be able to hide it. Now imagine a society where no one can cheat. How does monogamy work in a Western society where no one is able to cheat? So now I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I'm going to give you an example. I wrote a blog article several years ago. I'm actually going to pull it up here and refer to it. It is at the Alpha Male 2.0 blog. The title of the blog post is called "Because of Technology, Sexual Monogamy Will Soon Be Impossible." I wrote it back in 2017. As usual, I'm ahead of the curve on these things. And what I did is I used an example of an episode of Black Mirror. And the episode name is called "The Entire History of You." I think it's from the first season. I think so. Not sure. Fantastic show and fantastic episode. I'm going to spoil that episode. So if you really want to watch that episode, I guess watch this video later. But here's what happens in that episode. Okay. And I'm not saying what happens in this episode is exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to keep repeating that because I know my audience. Well, Caleb, that's not going to happen because something like this is going to happen. It will be similar, but not exactly the same. This is science fiction, but this is something that is coming to your life in your lifetime, something like this. Okay, the premise of the episode is, I'll go through this as fast as I can, is in society, your eyes, everyone in society, your eyes can record everything. They're constantly recording everything, and you can sit down and blink or press a button on your brain and rewatch memories live as through your eyes and your ears. So you'll never need to forget anything. You could, like, if you have a great vacation, you can watch it again. If you fuck this really hot girl, you can see and hear you fucking her again. Okay, everything's constantly being recorded. Right? It's an implant back in your head. It's about a married couple named Liam and Fionn. I guess Fionn is a female name in the UK. You crazy Brits. So, and they let's see, they're married. They're newly married, and let's see, they have a small baby. Okay, that's the context. I'm going to read some of this. They go to a party where a guy, Jonas, talks about how he likes to masturbate to replayed memories of himself having sex with various women from his past, which is exactly what men may use this for. Fine. Liam notices that his wife, Fionn, tends to laugh weirdly when Jonas cracks jokes. When they both arrive back home, Liam replays the party. So he replays it in his eyeballs and you can also throw the replay up on a screen on your wall. You can screencast it. So he does that. He replays the party and throws up the wall and says, hey, honey, watch this. And he shows Fionn how she was acting with Jonas. He gets upset and starts asking if there is anything ever between them. She denies it, of course. Using this video evidence from the party, she denies it, but using this video evidence from the party, Fionn is forced to admit that she did indeed have a fling with Jonas in her past. Before she married Liam, she said, quote, it only lasted a week. Liam demands that she play the video from the memories of that time in her life. See, she can't lie. She then reluctantly admits that it wasn't a week, but a month. Then, with more pressing from Liam, she admits it was 6 months. Drama ensues, of course, and they have a huge fight. Later that evening, Liam keeps rewatching the memories from the party with Jonas. So he gets more and more jealous because that's how men work, and gets angrier and angrier as he watches Fion and Jonas interact with each other, observing all the subtle nuances of their conversations. So he like replays it, he pauses it, he zooms in. Okay. He starts to think that perhaps Jonas and Fion are having an affair right now. At a bare minimum, he starts to fear that Jonas is watching memories of him and Fion to masturbate to. The next morning, Liam screams at Fion yet again. Fion denies that there's anything going on with Jonas. Now a little drunk, Liam storms over to Jonas's home, breaks in, beats up Jonas, and demands that he delete all of his memories from his implant that involve Fion. Jonas resists, but finally agrees. Liam watches as Jonas brings up all of his sexual activity on a screen and deletes the Fion memories. So you can bring up memories and delete them. Later at home, Liam replays memories of that event. So he replays the fight and all that shit. He pauses the part where Jonas deletes the memories of Fion. He zooms in on the thumbnail picture of the two of them having sex. Looking carefully, he realizes to his horror that they were having sex in one of the rooms in Liam's current home. With the video evidence, he confronts Fion. Caught red-handed, she admits that yes, she had a brief affair with Jonas a while ago, but insists it was a one-night stand on a night when Liam and her had a big fight. Okay, hang on. It gets even worse. Liam tells her that based on a picture that was hanging on the wall when Jonas and her were having sex, this is what I'm going to pause for a second. And some of you are in the chat already bring this up. This is what people do now. One of my sisters was dating a guy once, and she bought one of those little trackers and stuck it on his car to see where he was going. And then she hired a private investigator to see where he was going. Men, alpha male 1.0s like Andrew Tate, say, give me your phone. Where were you? I was up. Give me your phone. Let me see your phone. Or a man will text his girlfriend, where are you right now? I'm at the store. All right, take your phone out and do a live video right now of where you are, right now. People do this now. That's how that's how difficult it is now. Is this going to get worse or easier in the future? Okay. All right. Liam tells her that based on a picture that was hanging on the wall when Jonas and her were having sex, it placed the time frame at about 18 months ago. About when Liam and Fion's baby daughter was conceived. Uh-oh. Could it be that Liam's own baby actually belongs to Jonas? Liam goes berserk and Fion starts sweating. She says that, of course, Liam is the father of their baby since she made sure to wear a condom. She made Jonas wear a condom when they had sex. Okay. Then he says, I thought you guys were both drunk. And she says, I made sure he wore one anyway. Where did you get the condom? Liam asks. We were trying to have a baby, so we didn't have any. Jonas had one, she answers. That he brought while he was drunk? Yes, Fion protests. Okay, Liam says, pointing at a nearby monitor, play the memory right now. Just like, show me your phone or play a video right now. And same thing. What? Fion asks. Play the memory when you two had sex, Liam says. It will show that you made him wear a condom. Then we can put all this to rest. This is coming, folks. Not exactly with eyeball technology, but this exact same shit is coming, and it's going to get worse than this. I'll talk about it in a second. Fion, terrified, agrees, but then suddenly tries to delete all of her memories so they can't be replayed. Liam stops her and forces her to play the event. He didn't wear a condom. Since Liam and Fion were having trouble conceiving the baby probably belongs to Jonas. They get a divorce, and Liam's life is ruined. The final scene is Liam forcibly cutting the implant from the back of his ear with a razor blade in his bathroom as the screen fades to black. Okay. I submit to you that in your lifetime, not only will you have that, something like that, it may not be in your eyeballs, but something like that where there's just a constant record of everything you do and your girlfriend, wife, spouse, husband, whatever the fuck. I guess you won't have a husband unless you're gay. This is a channel for men. I keep thinking this is Unchained CEO. We'll be able to check where you were and you won't be able to hide it. And here's the thing, and that story demonstrates this. If you tell a girl, let's not use any specific examples. If one partner says to their partner, prove it, show me the video that you took, and the person says, I don't want to, what does that mean? It means you cheated. Alpha male 1.0 boyfriend, girlfriend goes home and she's late. He's like, where the hell were you? Which alpha male 1.0s do. Where the hell were you? I was with my friend Sally. Show me your phone. And she says, I'm not going to show you my phone. Well, immediately, what does he think? Or alpha male 1.0 boyfriend says, where are you? He's texting his girlfriend. And she says, I'm at the grocery store. Okay, do a live video right now and pan the room right now. I can't. I'm busy. What does he think? Whether he's right or wrong, what does he think? What does that indicate? So your refusal, there will be all this recorded data of your doings, and your partner will say to you, show me da-da. And if you say no, guess what that means? Drama from hell. Even if you're innocent. Even if you're innocent. You see why monogamy sucks? Okay. Also, going forward, it's going to be more difficult than this. I have said on my blogs years ago, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to be right about this. At some point in the future, not the near future, not tomorrow, not next year, not 2 years from now, but in your lifetime, when you go out on a first date with a woman, you will know everything about her. Everything. It'll come up on a screen in your eyeball or your ear or an implant or a Google Glass or something. I don't know. The modality of the technology is not relevant. You'll know. You'll know exactly how old she is, which is good because they can't lie about their age anymore. Awesome. That's good. Women who are 36 can't say they're 31, and these 15-year-old girls can't say they're 18. Both of which I've had these scenarios where women lie to me about this. So this is good. That's good. Some of this is good, but a lot of this is good, actually. She won't be able to lie about, her background, how much money she makes, her job, her dating history, how many guys she's fucked. You're going to know all that stuff. Now, here's the problem. She's going to know everything about you. So you guys who are married and cheating or have a girlfriend, she's going to know immediately. All you guys, I have an OLTR marriage. You're like, well, how do you tell new girls about, I don't know if I could do it. This problem will be done for you in the future. You won't have an option to lie or hide it. You won't be able to decide when to disclose this information. What I just described in that example is maybe, let's call that level 1. Level 1 is where the technology is going to record everything, give you a record of everything. You can do that with your Google phone now, right? You can press a button, not just Google phone, any phone. It'll show you everywhere you've been in the past, 12 years. So if you say, I went to Japan in 2012, someone can say, prove it. Pull out your phone and show me that you went to Japan in 2012. If you go, whoa, no, or you can't prove, there. So that's level 1. Level 2 is real-time data. You will know in real time if your girlfriend is fucking someone else, and your girlfriend or wife or whoever will know if you're fucking someone else in real time. She'll know the moment you do it, or she'll know very quickly right after. You won't be able to hide it. Right now, you can hide it with difficulty. The fact that the few guys who try to brag to me that they're getting away with cheating, and they list all this shit that they're doing, which is why cheating is so shitty. Not just shitty in terms of lying, it's a shitty lifestyle. Well, I have 2 phones and 2 laptops, and I have 60 email accounts, and I do this and that and this and that. The fact they have to do all this crazy shit demonstrates how much harder it is to cheat now than it was in 1982. So I want you to think about this. The only reason, get this through your head, the only reason people today who are in monogamous relationships cheat is because they believe they can get away with it. Right? If you knew, you listen to the sound of my voice. If you were in a monogamous relationship, and a lot of you are, unfortunately, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but okay. If you were in a monogamous relationship and you knew with 100% certainty that you would get caught within a week of cheating. So if you cheated on your girlfriend or wife You will get caught. She'll find out. You knew for a fact it would happen within a week or 2 or 3. You knew this for a fact. Would you cheat? No. Why would you? Now, you might do something else. We'll talk about the something else in a minute. But you wouldn't cheat behind her back. You do one of 2 or 3 other things. I'll discuss those in a second. But why would you cheat if you knew you were going to get caught? The only people who would do that would people who have like legit mental illness problems. If you were legitimately mentally ill and all fucked up, then you might do that. But if you're a normal, sane human, why would you do that? You wouldn't. You wouldn't cheat. So what options do you have left if you can't cheat? Because that's where we're headed very quickly. You won't be able to cheat if you get into a monogamous relationship, you morons. So guess what happens if you can't cheat? What are your only other options? Option 1 is that you will stay faithful and you will grit your teeth and you will squeeze your fists together and you'll say, I'm a good Christian and I can't cheat on my wife because I made a vow and I'm a good father and I got to be a man of my word, and all the societal programming is going to, reinforce your decision to not cheat, and you're just going to grit your teeth for the rest of your life and not cheat. I know men like this. I know men in monogamous relationships and they want to fuck other girls, but they won't because I'm a good Christian and I'm a good Jewish guy and I'm a good this and I'm a good that. My favorite celebrity example would be Dennis Prager. That guy is so horny as fuck. He can't wait to fuck someone, but he can't because he's married and he's hardcore religious. So he just grits his teeth and doesn't do it. He's been married 3 times. I wonder why. Nothing against him personally. Just an example. Now, that percentage of men is a very small percentage. It's a very tiny, tiny percentage. The vast majority of men are eventually going to crack. Don't have that kind of willpower or that kind of, it's a measure of willpower and lots of societal right-wing tradcon programming. Most men don't have that, those 2 qualities. They're going to cheat, okay? The other category of men who will stay faithful are those small percentage of men who will not cheat because he has super low testosterone. I didn't say low testosterone. Low testosterone men have sex. Very low testosterone. There are men out there like this. I've talked to many of them. I know some of them. I've done a lot of one-on-one coaching over the past 17 years. I've coached a lot of guys through converting their monogamous marriages into non-monogamous marriages. And a handful of those guys in the last few years have been really low testosterone, older guys who don't want to go on TRT. They don't want to make whatever changes. And so side note, outside the topic of this podcast, but when you go through a non-monogamous conversion from a monogamous relationship, especially when you live with a woman, there's a time where you have to fuck new girls. Once you have a certain set of talks and certain things happen, you have to go out and have sex with a new girl. If you say, I'm going to fuck other girls now, sweetheart, so as of this date, and then you don't do it, it makes your marriage worse. So I tell these guys, once you tell her you're going to do it, you have to do it. You can't just not do it. They go, okay. And most of them do. But a few of them don't. And I'll say, if you fucked it, it's been 30 days. If you fucked it, no. Why not? And these super low testosterone guys will say, well, I don't really want to. I don't need to have sex. Well, why did you want to? And I'll say stupidly, now I understand this, but back then I didn't. Well, why did you want to open up your marriage to have sex with other women if you don't want to have sex with other women? And they would say, well, I'm a low testosterone guy. My testosterone is 90. And they'll say, well, I don't want to fuck a girl. I just want to have a relationship and go out to dinner and cuddle and talk and, So those guys will be faithful because they don't want to have sex. You could argue they could cheat emotionally. That muddies the waters, this conversation. But in terms of physical cheating, they're probably not going to do it because they don't have the physical desire to do so. There's, again, what percentage of men are like that? Very low percentage. There's another very small percentage of men who don't like having sex. Some of that overlaps with lower testosterone men. There aren't very many of these guys, but they're out there. And none of you are probably in that category if you're watching this channel. But let's see. For example, one of my brothers hates having sex. He hates it. He doesn't like it. Some people just don't like having sex. And he likes getting blowjobs and hand jobs. He likes that. He doesn't want to get on top of a woman and get inside her and go back and forth. He's like, I'd rather just get it. Can I just sit and get a blowjob? that's just how he is. And so it's sad for his girlfriends. He has a girlfriend now. She has to drag him into the bedroom. He's like, oh, I don't want to have sex. Like Al Bundy from Married with Children. When his wife was dragging them, he's like, oh, I don't want to have sex with my wife. Ew. So there are men like that. So you have these two categories of men, plus that other category of men who can grit their teeth. That's a small percentage of men. The other 90% plus of men, when they can't cheat because they know they'll get caught, will do something else. What will they do? They will do what I have been telling you guys to do for almost 17 years. They will open up their monogamous relationships. They'll do it incorrectly because they won't have read any of my books or read my blogs or any of my techniques. So they'll do it wrong. They'll do it like most guys do. And they'll look at their arm and go, so what do you think if I fucked another girl, but I wore a condom? Would that be okay? And her head will explode. Fuck you. Right? Especially if she's over 33. Then her head will triple explode. That's what they'll do. They're going to have to figure out how to open their relationship. And everyone in the world will have to adopt some sort of alpha male 2.0 relationship model. They will. What other option do you have? Now, there's a third possible option that is very unlikely. I'll cover that in a second. I'll cover it right now. So again, option one is you grit your teeth and or you're low T, so you don't want to have sex. You stay faithful to your monogamous girlfriend or wife. That's option one. Very few men. Option two, you're going to have to open up your relationship and tell your sweetie little sweetheart they're going to bang the secretary at work. And that's just the way it is. And you're going to have an explosion of drama. You'll probably get divorced, break up, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Some people will say, well, Caleb, what about sex robots? What about that? Because guys can fuck sex robots. Maybe by then we'll have sex robots and that'll solve the problem. Now, that's possible. I don't think that now I've talked about sex robots in detail at my blogs. Go read those articles. The summary of sex robots is that when two things occur, two conditions, when sex robots get pretty enough where the average guy, his dick doesn't notice the difference. Not his brain, his dick. Your dick is not your brain. Your dick has its own brain, doesn't it? So when sex robots get good enough where your dick looks at the robot and goes, oh, I'd fuck that. Yeah. Number one. Number two, when they become cheap enough for average, lower, and middle-class men can either buy them or rent them. If they're $1 million each, then that's nothing's going to happen. Only rich people will be able to get them, right? But when they get down to where they're dick viable, A, and B, cheap enough for average, lower/middle-class guys to either buy one of them their own or rent them as much as they want. When those two things happen, yes, it's going to change a lot of things. It's going to change sexual dynamics in a lot of crazy ways that are outside the scope of this podcast. I could happy to talk about that in some other podcasts another time. That's true. I don't think that the technology, I don't think that when the technology arrives where it will be impossible to cheat and not get caught, I don't think sex robots will hit those two parameters by then. I think that'll come after, which means you're stuck with grit your teeth and be monogamous. Good luck. Or tell your girlfriend you're going to fuck other women, which you'll do wrong. Now, you guys won't do it wrong. You have my materials. But everyone outside of this discussion will do it wrong and have all kinds of nuclear explosions. Let's say for a minute that sex robots, by the time this occurs, do reach a point of viability, meaning your dick doesn't care. They're hot enough for your dick to enjoy them, not your brain, your dick. And they're cheap enough for, lower income guy to get one and fuck one whenever he wants. Okay. This opens up a whole new can of worms. And again, this gets into the zone of sex robots, but we are talking about future technologies and finding options to not cheat. So this is valid to this discussion. I want you to imagine the typical wife or live-in long-term girlfriend. So we're not talking about 19-year-old girls here. We're talking about women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe late 20s. You're married to her or you've been living with her for many years. Okay? The typical Western modern-day woman. We're not talking about a little 17-year-old virgin from the inner Mongolia or inner India who's Hindu and hardcore Muslim and will serve. No. That's not where you guys live. You guys live in the collapsing Western world. You shouldn't. I don't. But you guys do, most of you. So the typical Western modern day woman who is the typical wife or live-in girlfriend. I want you to picture that woman in your mind. All the pros and cons therein. Now, you've got a sex robot, right? And you go to your wife / live-in girlfriend you've been living with several years. I'm monogamous too. And you can't cheat now because you'll get caught. So you buy your sex robot and you sit her on the couch. And you bring your wifey poo in. You say, hey, wifey poo, I'm going to spice up my own sex life here because I'm horny and I got to fuck someone. And I don't, you won't say, I can't cheat on you because I'll get caught. You don't want to say that. You'll say, I don't want to cheat on you, darling, because I love you and I respect our marriage. You'll give her some bullshit like that. And you'll say, instead of cheating on you, I'm going to fuck this robot. And she's going to look at that robot and you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to fuck this girl who is the 27-year-old version of Kim Kardashian, or the 27-year-old version of Scarlett Johansson, or the 27-year-old version of Dolly Parton, that'd be mine, or the 27-year-old version of Emily Rostenkowski, or whatever woman you think is the hottest celebrity on earth, the 27-year-old version of her, okay? This 27-year-old woman who is a perfect 10, who does literally whatever I want during sex, never complains, always follows my orders, never tells me what to do, never asks me for money, never asks me to help her pay her bills, never says I need to pay for the first date to be a gentleman, never asks to pay off her student loans, always does whatever I want, is young and hot and will be young and hot forever, younger and hotter than you, and she can never get pregnant. I can come inside her 10,000 times and she'll never give me an STD. I'm going to fuck that. You don't mind, do you, honey? It's a robot. How is she going to react? You know how she's going to react. Let me remind you, there are women today, a lot of them, who consider men, their boyfriends, jerking off to porn as cheating. My boyfriend's not allowed to jerk off to porn. That's he's cheating on me if he does that. What? There are many wives and girlfriends who, if their husband or boyfriend goes to a strip club, they're not allowed to because that's cheating on her, in quotes. Women are like that now. Not all women, not all women. I'm generalizing, but most typical modern day Western women, because that's what we're talking about, because you guys still won't leave the collapsing USA. You're still hoping Trump's going to win. You're fucked even if Trump wins. I've already discussed that. How is that woman going to react? Okay, sure. Go fuck the shit out of this girl whenever you want. That's perfectly fine with me. Is she going to say that? Typical modern day Western woman. Oh, you monogamous guys are so fucked. This is why I say when you adopt alpha male 2.0 models, it protects you against the collapse. I say, what do I say? Your alpha 2.0 location dependent business, having an international backup plan, or moving out of the Western world, and embracing non-monogamy. And people say, wait a minute, what does non-monogamy have to do with it? I just told you. I just told you what non-monogamy has to do with it. Think about this. Okay? My lifestyle, the lifestyle I've been living for 17 years now, non-monogamous, fucking multiple women, just did a few hours ago. I'm having a good time here. Okay? I'm married. My wife, Pink Firefly, I've talked about this many times. We have a shared calendar. Whenever I see one of my FBs, as a courtesy to her, I don't do this because I have to. I do this as a courtesy to her because the more she knows, the less jealous she becomes. Whenever I hook up with one of my FBs, I put it in our shared calendar. So she literally sees when I'm having sex with someone else. So when this occurs, and suddenly every woman knows when I fuck any other woman, how will my lifestyle change? Not 1 centimeter. It will go on as it's been going for the last 17 years. How will your life change if you're monogamous? You're fucked. You getting this now? You understand? You understand why non-monogamy is just as important as setting up your own location-independent alpha 2.0 business, so you're not stuck in your collapsing Western country, and getting an international backup plan so you have somewhere to go when your country collapses, or if you're smart, moving out of your collapsing Western country like I did. This is why I hate the word holistic. It reminds me of Andrew Henderson, but okay. Alpha Male 2.0, I use the word comprehensive. Alpha Male 2.0 is a comprehensive lifestyle design system, not just getting laid or just making money. That isn't enough for what's coming. You getting this now? If you think I'm wrong, well, the kill, this will never happen. I want you to tell me in the comments of this video, if you watch the replay, or you can do it in the live chat, tell me why I'm wrong. Give me your fact-based, logical, rational reasons why technology will never get to the point where your wife or girlfriend can easily find out if you're cheating, or, by the way, if she's cheating. Now, there's a flip side to this. And by the way, let me know and I'll respond. Good luck. I'm right about this. This is going to happen in your lifetime. You better fucking hope they invent sex robots by then. And then what are you going to do? I'd love to be a fly on the wall. This is what I want. And I will be a fly on the wall. I will see this because there'll be video of this when this happens. Of all these monogamous guys, when this transition occurs, they can't cheat anymore. And they try to get their wives or girlfriends to get them to fuck other girls when they've done everything wrong. And they haven't followed any of my advice with things like FB, MLTR, OLTR, soft nexting, cardinal rules, the 4 phases. They don't take any of my techniques and they don't know or they don't follow them because they're making, like many of you, they're making excuses. Well, I would never do that. I don't want my wife to fuck other guys. I'm just gonna be monogamous. Okay. I'm gonna love to watch these guys squirm as they tell their monogamous Western girlfriends or wives, I'm gonna go fuck other women now and watch the nuclear bombs that go off. Then I want to watch these guys who try that with the sex robot, with the 27-year-old Kim Kardashian bot sitting on the couch while his angry, overweight 42-year-old wife is glaring at him. He says, oh, I'm just going to fuck this robot. It's a robot, right? You don't care. It's a robot. You don't mind, do you? No. You know, I've even had discussions, humorous discussions. Pink Firefly and I, my wife, have had humorous discussions about this. I said, you know, there will be a day someday where I could be monogamous too. She's like, really? What is that day? I said, when they invent sex robots and my dick can't tell the difference. I don't care how much it is because I'm a higher income guy. I'll fuck this. I'll buy 2 of them. I can visualize which they'll both look like. I want to be a little taller than the other one. And I'll fuck the shit out of those things. And she's like, well, wait, what? Wait. Now, wait a minute. Why does she say, wait? They're robots. It's like fucking a vibrator. Why do you care? Even she, with very low ASD for her, well, not low ASD anymore, but even her in this, alternative marriage she's in with me with, even she was like, well, wait a minute. I don't know about, yeah. If Pink Firefly is a little concerned about that, how does the typical monogamous standard Western woman going to react to this shit? Not even Western. The typical Asian woman. You guys think Asian women are perfect? I've dated, you know how many Asian women I've dated? How are they going to react to this shit? You're going to bring in your white sex robot with the big ass that she doesn't have? And the big titties that she probably doesn't have? And she'll say, okay, that's fine. You go fuck that. Right. She'll say, fuck you. Why get the fucking. There you go. Look on time here. Perfect timing. That's what's coming. So what is the solution to this? Alpha Male 2.0. Learn and start practicing the non-monogamous techniques I've been teaching I've been living this way for 17 years. I've been teaching it for 15 years. Hundreds of thousands, if not probably millions of men all over the world have already done this successfully. You can do it too. Get this shit done now. So when this transition occurs, not if, when it occurs, you're like me. Nothing happens. Pink Firefly already knows when I hook up with other women, and my FBs kind of know, or they don't care. There's a few that care. Topic for another time. But there's no change in my life because I'm non-monogamous. I'm allowed to, quote, cheat. There's no cheating if you're non-monogamous. It's not just a factor of monogamy doesn't work, therefore don't do it. Although that's a big reason you shouldn't do it. It's not just that. It's also that in the modern era in which we live, the time will come you won't be able to be monogamous unless you're that small 10%ish of men who hate sex and or have super low testosterone and or will just grit your teeth and be faithful because God said so. You're probably not in any of those categories, statistically speaking. You're probably a normal, healthy guy who is horny and likes to have sex with people and gets bored with the same woman over and over again because that's the way you're biologically hard-coded. And as I've said 10,000 times, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with men wanting to fuck other women. It's how we are designed. Just like there's nothing wrong with women being hypergamous. That's how they're designed. And if you have a problem with that, talk to God or whoever you think created humanity. Talk to him or her or it. It's not our fault. This is how we work. So you should never be ashamed of this. Okay? Okay. That's it. I'm going to answer questions now, but I want you to focus on this. The next time, there's a percentage you still say this. I say long-term monogamy doesn't work, but I give all the reasons. And you say, but I would never do that. But I would never do that, or I don't want to do that is not an argument. That is not an argument. I don't want to do that. You should set up an international backup plan so when the America collapses or Canada, the UK, you have somewhere to go, well, I don't want to do that. That's not an argument. You're just being stupid. I don't care if you don't want to do it. There are things I do every day I don't want to do, but I do them because I want the result. Well, I would never do. Okay. What are you going to do then? What is the alternative? I just told you what it is. You're going to get monogamous in quotes. You're going to cheat and probably get caught right now. Then later, you won't be able to cheat. So you're going to do one of those scenarios I just told you, all of which are going to blow up in your fucking face. And you're going to be fucked, and I'll be just fine. Just like with my 5 flag stuff, just like with my location-independent business stuff. I've talked about over at Unchained CEO, when the Western world collapses, I will be inconvenienced. You will be fucked. You Trump supporters. Still in the United States, when the United States goes down, you'll be fucked. I'll be inconvenienced. I'd rather be inconvenienced than fucked. The same with this monogamy stuff. When it comes a time where you won't be able to cheat, nothing will happen to me. I'm just going to go on my merry way. You're going to be fucked. Here's what's really bad. Some of you by then will have children with these women. You'll be a father with little kids. You're going to go to your wifey poo, your mama, your mama baby mama. You're going to say, so I'm going to fuck other girls and she's going to blow up and you're probably going to get divorced. And now you've fucked up your kids because you didn't want to get non-monogamous. That'll be you. And or people you know, all the guys you know. I know a lot of men. I know a lot of guys who are monogamous. Some of them make a lot of money and these guys are in big trouble. Either now, some of them already are in big trouble. Now or coming soon because they don't have the balls to get non-monogamous or whatever reasons they're using, or they're trad cons or whatever. Don't let that be you. Get on this now. As I keep saying, get on this shit now. This is the third thing, the third pillar in your long-term protection. Alpha 2.0 location-dependent business. Move out of the collapsing Western world, or at least set up an international backup plan. That doesn't mean a country you like. It means you have residency there, you have resources there, bank account there. Okay, I've talked about this. And you're non-monogamous. You're having sex. Here's my definition of non-monogamous. I'm very clear about this in my books. The Unchained Man's coming very soon, the new version. Non-monogamous means you are putting your dick inside 2 women at least once every 6 weeks. That's what non-monogamous means. You don't have to have 12 girlfriends. Okay, you don't have to have sex 3 times a week like I do. You don't have to be a maniac if you don't want to. But every 6-week period, every 6 weeks minimum, your cock is going inside 2 different women. That's what non-monogamous means. And if you're not doing that right now, you are either an incel, because you're not getting laid at all, or you are monogamous, having sex with one woman, or you are de facto monogamous, having sex with one woman, but you haven't had the talk yet. You haven't defined the relationship, but you're only having sex with one girl, which means you're monogamous. Because a lot of you in my audience, and you know who you are, were non-monogamous. And then there's one girl you started to like. And then the other girls started floating away. And you, quote, got busy with work. And now you wake up 6 months later and you've only been having sex with one woman the last 6 months. Congratulations, you're monogamous. You're not non-monogamous. You can call yourself non-monogamous all you want. I get questions from guys on the internet all the time. Hey, my MLTR, da-da-da-da. Your MLTR? Are you fucking other women? No. Then she's not your MLTR, dumbass. She's your de facto monogamous girlfriend. Well done. No, I'm doing the girdle rules. One of the cardinal rules, you shouldn't be having sex with other women. Are you doing that? No. Okay, then you're not non-monogamous. Sorry. You're monogamous. So that's what non-monogamous means. I'm very clear about this. 6 weeks, every 6 weeks, your dick goes inside 2 women. By the way, Alpha 2.0 minimum requirements, these 2 women are at least cute to you. They don't have to be gorgeous. They don't have to be Instagram models, at least cute. If they're ugly or average, that doesn't count. That's not going to make you happy long term. You'll cheat or jerk off. You can't cheat. You'll jerk off the porn or whatever. You'll get needy or whatever. Okay. Let's answer some questions. Hang on. Let's zoom this shit up. My eyes don't work as well as they used to. Oh my God. Look at all the questions. I say that every time though, don't I? I probably should stop saying that. Okay, hang on. Doop, 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 doop. Where I got to find where I left off. Caleb, yo, what's up? Yo. Other than cold calling, what other marketing method do you recommend to get from zero to the money quick in a consulting context? Well, cold calling is the best. Other than that, you're looking at DMing on LinkedIn, DMing on Facebook, and joining LinkedIn and Facebook groups and being a part of that group. If you can't do the 9-day business builder right now, which of your products would you recommend? What's the best alternative? The Alpha 2.0 business course. Go to store.calebjones.com. Everything is there. You say it's good to be niched in business. I say it's required or else you're an idiot. More than good, yes. It's the same for our dating lives for the types of women you find attractive? No. You have sex with whomever you want. And some days you might be in mood for an Asian girl. Some days you're in mood for a hot blonde girl. Some days you're in mood for a short girl. Some men are like that. That's fine. I have more narrow types. Some guys have narrow, but even I have a narrow type that I like, very narrow. But I go outside that type all the time because it's fun and because I want to. So the answer is no. And nothing to do with it. I saw something about meta glasses and they tell the info of anyone you look at. Is that going to become common? Yes, something like that. That's probably the most probable. You'll be wearing glasses or Google glasses or eventually contacts. And as you look at someone, it'll immediately pop up their name, their age, what they do for a living, their nationality, basics. And you could click on them or look at them or blink or something and it'll bring up more data. Yes. How do you get over your ex-girlfriend really fast? If you are monogamous and or you're young, it won't be really fast. No matter what you do your best. You have sex with 2 new hot girls as fast as you can. And it won't be fast if you're under the age of 25 and or you are monogamous. Don't get monogamous again. My sister neighbor is Nigerian mix and she has a younger sister and they both are hot. They look like Narushalaf Dulal. I don't know what that is. The actress. I like mixed race women. Any similar experiences or stories? Remind me on a future Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. I might show you a picture with her head cut off of the last black woman I was with. Because in Dubai, you're dealing with like the hottest black women on earth. They're direct from Africa. And they're not international black women. And a lot of Americans understand this. International black women are not African American. They're not like, yo, man, what you fuck? They're not like that. They don't even look like that. They're African women. What are you talking about? They're like that. It's a whole different look. It's a whole different attitude. And in certain countries, like Dubai, you get the hottest African women in the world. The hottest women in the world who have black skin, they're not African, are Bahama women. Bahamian? I don't know how you say it. Bahamian? Bahamas women? Oh, they're not African. They're Caribbean. They have black skin, but they have nothing to do with Africans. They're not African American. They look like they have Asian features and they have even bigger asses. Huh! I was away for this, but why did you discontinue the SMIC? It wasn't profitable enough. Something is coming very shortly that is mildly similar. Not the same, very different, but mildly similar. But it serves a complete purpose in my business. But that has nothing to do with Alpha 2.0. It's all business stuff. So that's why. Was it profitable? If it's not profitable, it gets axed. Why does the Old Testament have a lot of non-monogamy? Because back in the olden times, people weren't monogamous. Monogamy only began at 300 AD when Emperor Constantine took over the Roman Empire. He was the first Christian emperor. And suddenly he started saying, okay, you guys, when you're married, you can only fuck your wife. And wives, you can only fuck your husbands now. Everyone said, what? Yeah. Now it is now law. And they said, okay. Before that, married people fucked in whatever they wanted. And no one gave a shit. Go watch the TV show Rome, one of my favorite shows ever. HBO series Rome. It's only 2 seasons. Fantastic alpha male show. Very historically accurate because it's made by John Milius, who did the original Conan movie. He's super into history. And you'll see what happens, how women and men handle sexuality when they're married. Pre-Constantine. Monogamy wasn't a thing. I broke up with my girlfriend. I'm glad you did if she was monogamous. She traveled a lot, went to places like Montreal, New Orleans, and I saw her 1 or 2 times a month. You think she cheated? Odds are high she cheated, but I don't know her. I don't know the details. Why women with a boyfriend/husband are on Tinder? Because long-term monogamy doesn't work. How do you keep motivated when trying to get a consulting client doing cold calls when no one is picking up and you're afraid of job loss? I don't understand being afraid of job loss if you're making cold calls. That makes no sense. It's like I'm racing to get a client before I'm fired. Oh, you have 2 separate problems. Why are you going to get fired? Don't get fired. That's dumb. So don't get fired. That's stupid. Whatever you're doing to get fired, stop doing that. Don't get fired. That's dumb. So that solves that problem. Cold calls, the way it works is if you get 1 consulting client, you're going to make so much money, you might even be able to quit your job from 1 client account, depending on the size of the client account. So every call that you get that is a hang up or a no gets you closer to a yes. So you make money on every call, even if they hang up the phone. I've done lots of cold calls in my life. That's how I did it. They hang up on me, click. I'm like, awesome. I just made $100 because out of X number of hangups, I get 1 new client. 1 new client is $10,000 ever divided by the number of calls. You just play a game with yourself. You say you look for responsible behavior on women before going raw on her. Yes. Can you be more specific? Like, what exactly do you look for? Good question. So it's someone I have to know for a while. It can't be a woman I'm just dating or seeing FBLTR for a few weeks because you don't know and she could be lying to you. So it's someone I've been seeing for a long time, 6 months, 12 months, it's like I know her well. I know her dating status. By now, I know her. I've been seeing her for a year, I know her dating status, and she can't be lying about it. No one can lie for a year. They can lie for a few weeks. They can't lie for a year or 6 months or whatever. So her dating status. Is she fucking other guys? Does she have a boyfriend? Is she cheating on the boyfriend with someone besides me? When she has sex, does she use condoms? Does she get drunk a lot? A lot of younger women get drunk and they have sex. They're not wearing condoms because they're drunk. My main FB here in Dubai doesn't drink. Ever. She's never been drunk in life like me. Awesome. So that's pretty responsible. Pretty good, for example. Okay. I can list a whole bunch of them, but that gives you the gist. Would dating a woman with whom you are taking a course with be the same as dating someone you work with? No, that's okay because the course is temporary. I know you don't teach day game, but I haven't had sex in 6 months and trying to get an FB or 2. How do you not let the fear of judgment stop you from getting your dating goals? Same thing what I just told the other guy about doing cold calls. If you're talking about doing cold approach, I assume, because you're doing day game. If you're doing cold approach, it's the same deal. You're not going to fuck this next girl you cold approach. You're going to get rejected by 20 girls and you're going to fuck number 21, for example. So that means, what does that mean? You need to get your 20 rejections so you can get laid as fast as you can while doing everything proper, using proper day game technique, which I can help you with. That's how you do this. That's if you're swiping girls on Tinder. That's if you're going on first dates. That's if you're doing day game night. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're not going to fuck the very next girl. Statistically, you're not. You're going to fuck the 10th or 20th or 30th girl you swipe or message or hit on or approach, I should say, with day game, night game. So get through the failures fast so you can get to the pussy. This is what I did back in the day when I had date after date after date after date, and my date ratios weren't that great. Like, I need to get a bunch of dates that don't work out so I can get to the date that does work out. Instead of saying, oh, she didn't like me. Most women aren't going to like you. That's statistical. It's a reality. When you do cold calls, most people are going to say no. That's a reality. That's normal. Have you ever had sex with a hot Arab chick who wears a hijab? I've already answered. The answer is no. How do you avoid negative emotions like despair? And plus, I'm not fucking a woman wearing a hijab. She's taken that off. Thank you very much. Unless that sounds like it's a fetish for you. It'd be hot for you. You're watching too much Mia Khalifa videos. How do you avoid negative emotions like despair, depression, anxiety, etc.? What are the best techniques? That's too broad a question. Those are very different. Despair is very different than anxiety. So you need to narrow down that question. Too broad. Similar to the comment above, do you think young women who like to travel a lot could cheat, especially going to party events, especially under the age of 25? Yes. I've already said this. Women under the age of 23, you should assume they're cheating. The vast majority will. Less today than historically because women don't have sex anymore and men don't either because Gen Z is weird. And millennials are weird. These are the entitled generation. They don't want to have sex. But yes, if you're seeing a woman, why are you guys asking about cheating? You shouldn't be monogamous, you dumbasses. What the fuck are you doing? You shouldn't care if women cheat. Why do you care if women are cheating? I'm about to kick you off my channel, not literally. Why are you asking about, you think she might be cheating on me, Caleb? This is not Andrew Tate. This is not Jordan Peterson. This is not Ben Shapiro. This is Alpha Male 2.0. You shouldn't care who she fucks. Especially if she's an FB or an MLTR. But she's my girlfriend. Why do you have a monogamous girlfriend? Did you not just listen to me for the past hour? Again, I'm jet lagged, so I didn't catch the framing of these questions completely wrong. If you're worried about a woman cheating, you need to reorient your brain very quickly or go watch Andrew Tate. I don't know why you're watching me. You shouldn't care. To answer the question, I've said this 10,000 times. Women under age 23 are virtually incapable of monogamy, especially if they're extroverts. So if you're dating a hot girl who's 19, she's cheating. You know she's fucking? Guys like me. I'm probably fucking her. Yeah. And you shouldn't care. Felix Dennis had the 3 Fs. If it flies, floats, or fucks, lease it, don't buy it. I guess he was thinking sometimes it's better to lease than to buy thoughts. None of that is relevant. If you want to pay for sex, I've been very clear about this on my podcasts and blogs. If you want to pay for sex, that's okay, provided you meet both criteria, both these things. Criteria 1, you've already had sex with lots of hot girls without paying a single penny. And you could get sex now with a hot girl without paying a single penny. It just might take you some time. You have to do that first before you start paying for it. Number 2, you can easily afford it. If you're making $40,000 a year, you should not be on Seek an Arrangement paying women $300 to have sex with them. You can't afford it. So if you can easily afford it, and you've already had sex with a decent number, not a million hot girls, but several hot girls, and you know in your psyche and your self-esteem, yes, I can fuck hot girls without paying for it. Because the challenge with a lot of guys is that's all they do. The only women they fuck are women they pay. And so they get this warped brain that says the only reason women fuck me is because I'm giving them money. I can't think of anything more disgusting or beta. You know who's like that, by the way, Donald Trump supporters? Donald Trump. How do I know this? There's all these examples from his past. When he fucked Stormy Daniels, and she told the story, when they were done having sex, Donald Trump whipped out several $100s and left it on the counter and said, hey, this is for you. And she's like, why are you giving me money? And he goes, because we had sex, so I got to pay you. Oh, gross. And she's like, I didn't have sex with you for money. I had sex with you because I'm attracted to you and I like you. What the fuck are you? And she was all offended because that's what happens to you when you just fuck hookers or sugar babies. That's all you fuck. So you fuck a bunch of girls normally who are attractive, and then you make a lot of money, and then when you get to the point like it's a better financial decision in terms of my time usage to pay for it than to spend 3 or 4 dates and X amount of time on Tinder, and then it is valid to pay for sex. Okay, and I followed this rule for years. I didn't pay a penny for sex for what, 15 years? 14, I forget the number. 14 years, I don't remember. Before I ever even experimented a little bit with sugar daddy game. Would you recommend using a VPN when using your laptop at a coffee shop, or is that 2% rule stuff? That is 2% rule stuff. How would you feel if your wife or rotation chick had sex with another man for money, like for $1,000 to spend it on you, as if in her brain she wants to take you out and it's not a big deal? I don't think I understand the question, but I don't think I would care if I understand the question, and I may not. My Tinder account was banned a little while ago, maybe too many auto swipes. Is there a way to get back on Tinder without getting a new phone? I don't know how they changed. They may have just changed this. If you set up, you don't need a new phone. Use a VPN, use a different email account, and clean out your phone with CC Cleaner and use a different IP. Yes, you can. My family just found out my grandpa had an illegitimate son while he was in the war, and we found out because my cousins got the ancestry test and matched with the illegitimate son's. Fucking crazy. Ha ha ha. I've said this many times. These more traditional men and traditional women who say, I want to be married like they did in the 40s and the 50s, and these TradCon angry, Jordan Peterson types say, back in the 50s and 40s, that's when, marriage worked and blah, blah, blah. Those guys in the 40s and the 50s were cheating like dogs. They're all dead now, but I had many conversations with World War II guys back when they were like in their 80s and 90s, many years ago. The stories these guys told, they're all married in the 40s. They're all married. Oh my God, the pussy these guys got when they're away from their wives, not just at the war, like during the war, but after the war, before the war. Oh my God, these guys got laid. So of course, that's why I said early on in this podcast, monogamy's never worked. Marriage worked, in quotes, because people got divorced less. But people still fucked other people. And I love when people say, well, just the men were fucking other people. The women were loyal. Everyone, as I just talked about a few minutes ago, everyone was married. So when these men fucked these other women, guess who these women were? Married women. And in some cases, prostitutes, but usually married women. Yeah. We romanticize all this bullshit about the past. Monogamy has never worked. Human beings are not monogamous creatures. Human beings are pair bonding creatures. We are not monogamous creatures. There is a difference. And this is confusing to people. I am married, I am pair bonded, but I'm not monogamous. That's how you're wired. You're wired to eventually end up with one girl you really like, but fuck other girls too. That's how you're wired. And if you deny that, good luck. You're fucked. I have heard from young women say that they are okay with them cheating if they are not going to marry the guy, as it does not matter. That's woman logic. Women have all these silly rules. Yes. Then you'll see them as having sex with other men while having a boyfriend. Thoughts. These are the same thing as like when young girls say anal sex doesn't count as having sex because I don't want to lose my virginity. Or the number of guys she fucked. Well, these 4 guys, I was drunk, so that doesn't count for the men I fucked. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's women's stupid sex rules, which don't make any sense. Remember, men are dumb. Women are what? Insane. I have security cameras installed in my home. My concern is if I get married and she starts fucking other men, I will see it. How would you handle this situation? You discuss it with her. I don't want you fucking men in this house. That's my rule with Pink Firefly. Right now she's in another country. But when we lived together full time, her rule for me was, and I agreed to it, don't fuck other women in this house unless she's involved. And many times she was. That's different. Then it's fun for all. But you just say, look, I don't want you fucking men in this house. Want to fuck guys, here's how you're going to do it. That's it. You said you are okay with your wife having meaningless condom sex with other men. Correct. She doesn't, but correct. If she did it, I wouldn't care. How can this be as women when they have sex, they need an emotional connection? That is false. I don't know where men came up with this. That is false. You know how many FBs I have? You know how many FBs I've had in the last 17 years who fucked me over and over and over and over and over again and never got emotionally connected with me? Now, some did. Some did. The vast majority didn't. You have fucked women probably in your past, unless you've fucked very few women. I don't know how experienced you are, who didn't get emotionally connected to you. It was just sex. Women like to fuck. Men like to fuck. That is a myth among men that 100% of women, when they fuck you once or twice, immediately get emotionally connected. That is false. And that is less true now than it's ever been before. Women are very mercenary about this. Have you seen OnlyFans? Have you seen Seeking Arrangement? Have you seen? So that is false. Now, but Caleb, what if she did? Then the marriage is over. I've been very clear about this. If Pink Firefly fucked another guy and started catching feelings, the marriage is over. Still, we can still hook up, maybe be an MLTR, but not an OLTR, because an OLTR is emotionally exclusive. It's that simple. A lot of women now demand to follow each other on Google location. Yes, that's exactly my point. Yeah. Now they literally know where you are at all times. Correct. And this is going to get worse, not better. The societal expectations will follow the technology, just like they always do. Right? If someone texts you, they expect you to text back, even if you're driving. Well, that wasn't the case 20 years ago because we didn't have texting. No one bothered you when you were driving 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but the expectations follow technology. I used to give speeches about this. 20 years ago, I did public speaking. Societal expectations follow technology. So now if you have the technology where they can see you at all times, they're going to now expect you to do that. And if you say no, they're going to dump you and find another beta male who will say yes. Correct. There is a video of a guy, channel named Art Chad, saying Africa is unstable because they don't practice monogamy. Do you agree that without monogamy, society disintegrates into a war zone-like state? I don't agree with that. There are many other reasons why Africa is a shithole. It's not just because they're not monogamous. And again, Westerners aren't monogamous either. Westerners, United States is not a monogamous country. The cheating rate is around 77% in long-term relationships or marriages. Is that monogamous? No. So that person is wrong. Now, if that person lists 8 reasons why Africa is a shithole, and that's one of them, then maybe he might have a point. Sure. That could be a contributing factor, not the reason. No. There are many reasons why Africa has problems. When selling consulting and going into implementation, do you send a document of what's going to happen on the agreed upon dates? Yes, but don't narrow down precise dates too narrowly. Give ranges. Week 1 to 2, this will happen. Week 4 to 6, this will happen. Give yourself some wiggle room. But yes, the answer is yes. If your wife was cheating on you, will you leave her? She can't cheat on me. We're non-monogamous. You're not understanding this, Maison. You're not getting this. She can't cheat on me and I can't cheat on her. We're not monogamous. Or will you try to reconcile as divorced or breakups suck? As divorce or breakups suck. She can't cheat on me. What would cause a divorce if she violated the rules of our relationship? So that would mean she would have to go out and fall in love with a guy and start dating a guy in a real relationship. Then yes, I would end the marriage and I would do it amicably. We'd still have sex. We'd still hang out. We'd still have feelings for each other. She'd be an MLTR. But the marriage would be over, yes. Because OLTR is emotionally exclusive. If she did that, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's an OLTR marriage, which means if we get divorced, she gets 0 of my money, not 1 penny. OLTR marriage is the only proper way to marry a woman in the modern era. If you get married the traditional monogamous way and don't get a prenup and don't get something enforceable and delete internet, you're an idiot. Why do you believe adults over 25 shouldn't experience negative emotions? What's your philosophy? You read chapter 2 of The Unchained Man. I go into great detail on that philosophy. To summarize, by age 25, you have already experienced every negative emotion known to man. You name the negative emotion: loneliness, jealousy, anger, fear, stress, anxiety. You've experienced all those things many times over by the time you're 25. Why do you need to keep experiencing them again to know that they're bad? Why do you have to keep experiencing anger forever to remember what anger feels like? I think you got it by 25. That's why. There's no reason to experience any negative emotions whatsoever once you hit age 25. Now, that's not possible. You will, but the goal is to minimize them. I have not been angry, legit angry, like, God damn it, in almost 24 years, 25 years, literally. So you can do it. I've talked about this. Last time I was angry was when I was a beta male in my monogamous first marriage, when my kids were little and our house was robbed. And they stole a bunch of my shit and they scared my family. I was fucking mad. I was pounding the table and screaming. That was like 2000, 2001. It's 2024. It's the last time I was mad. I can't remember the last time I felt lonely. I don't experience that emotion. I have not experienced the emotion of boredom since I was a little kid. So you can eliminate entire negative emotions from your palate. You can do it. Unless you want to be like Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson and talk about how, happiness is for women and go great, then go follow them. I was suffering erectile dysfunction when I once spent a couple hours at the local university because I couldn't be at the house because the landlord was doing some work. Huh? There were lots of young chicks and suddenly my erectile dysfunction went away. Of course, erectile dysfunction is all in this head, not in your dick. 90% of you who say you have ED don't have ED. You have a problem with your head, not your dick. Your dick works fine. Especially when I saw the soccer team walking by and got horny as fuck. So I guess hot chicks are the natural cure of raw libido. Correct. 90% of men who say they have ED are either not having sex or having sex with someone who's fat and ugly. Well, of course. The old joke about ED was Tom Likas. Like, this is 25, 30 years ago now. I'm dating myself. Those of you who are old enough to remember Bob Dole. Bob Dole used to do commercials for Viagra and how to fight ED with all these pills. And Tom Likas' point was, of course, Bob Dole has ED. Have you seen his wife, Elizabeth Dole? It's like fucking his fat grandma. Well, of course he has trouble getting it up. Of course he needs to take a pill. If you had a smoking hot 19-year-old, you think he'd have trouble getting up? No. Is it okay to do a background check on a woman before she becomes your girlfriend or wife? Girlfriend, no. Wife, maybe. Wife would be depending on the scenario. Girlfriend, no. Tech will end fake monogamy, you mean? No, it'll end monogamy. Let me qualify that statement for a second. Why will it end monogamy? Maybe you're right. And fake monogamy. The problem is people don't know the difference between fake monogamy and real monogamy. They consider it all the same thing. Maybe you're right. It'll end the pretense of monogamy working. Is that more accurate? Maybe. Yeah, sure. If you come home, well, here's my point. Here's my point to that. How it'll end monogamy. Even men who will cheat down the road, not always, usually have the intention of being monogamous, right? Most men don't get into a monogamous relationship. They're like, oh, I'll be cheating on her left and right. No problem. There's a few guys who do that, player alpha 1.0 types. Okay. But most men, including alpha 1.0, say, oh, no, I'm going to be monogamous. Won't be able to do it. If you came home and found out your wife was having sex with your friend or another man, how would you react? They are both on the bed or your couch. Those are two different scenarios. A man or my friend are two different scenarios. You can't fuck people's friends without talking about it first. So she can't fuck any of my friends. She has to discuss it with me first. And I can't fuck any of her friends or female family members. I would never without talking to her first. That's a recipe for disaster. If she was fucking some random guy, I'd be like, hi. And he'd be terrified because I'm intimidating. He'd run out of the house, naked, grabbing his balls. And then I would have a discussion with her. You realize the rules. I thought the rules would be discussed. Pink Firefly was no fucking in the house because I don't. So what are you doing? And she'd have good fucking reason. John Anthony Lifestyle did an interview with Tristan Tate in November 2021, and I watched it. I watched a little bit of that too. I remember watching that. Yes. I watched it live. Tristan Tate said that he is very skeptical of everyone, and he was in Belarus and is safe, but compared to Dubai as if you fuck up, then you will be in huge trouble. So he stays in Romania. Yeah, how'd that work out? And he got the talisman name as a black guy he knew. Fuck a Hungarian chick, and she sucked his dick. Okay. Hector, you summarize your questions. Way too long. Get to the fucking point. All right. How did you get the name Black Dragon? Like, what's the story behind the name? Very simple. Way back in 2007, 8, I went on the pickup artist forums. This is before I started posting publicly. This is where I got started. And back then, pickup artists had to have cool fake names. You couldn't name yourself Joe Smith. You had to be like, super player, that kind of shit. So I said, what is your PUA name? Signing up for this forum. I said, I don't know. My favorite monster in Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm a nerd, used to play Dungeons and Dragons, was the Black Dragon instead of the Red Dragon. So I put in Black Dragon. That's it. Wish I had a better story. Had I known it would have turned into a big multi-million-dollar business, I would have picked a different name, but I didn't know that back then. I realized monogamy doesn't work long time when I went on a date with my then girlfriend and the waitress serving us was really hot. And I said, damn. Right. As a man, you are biologically hardwired to spread your seed and have sex with multiple women. Even if you love and are devoted to just one woman and want to have babies with just that one woman, that's okay. You're still going to want to fuck other women. And if you deny that, if you do the Dennis Prager, you're never going to be happy. And you can't do a Dennis Prager, you're going to cheat or break up. Or cheat and then break up because you get caught. Because men are dumb. Latina women think and call me a pendejo. Is it because I'm a beta? Well, you could be an asshole too. Do you have the same problem with Latina women when discussing Alpha Male 2.0? Alpha Male 2.0 works perfectly on Latina women. I have many of them in my life. And Alpha Male 2.0 works on all nationalities of women, not all. Here's the nationalities of women I know Alpha Male 2.0 works on. Western women, Latina women from every Latin country you can come up with, Asian women from pretty much every Asian country. There are some Asian countries a little more difficult, like Taiwanese women and Chinese women. A little more difficult, but it does work. Works great with Filipinos, great with, black women, works fine. Little drama there, but it works. Russian women, Eastern European women, there are challenges, but it does work. The only ones I haven't tested it on or I don't have a lot of data on is like hardcore Middle Eastern, hardcore Muslim, but probably not. Hardcore Muslim women from a hardcore Muslim, probably not. But that's about it. Everyone else. I can't believe I knew about Alpha Male 2.0 before knowing about Andrew Tate, as this is a very tiny channel. Correct. I don't want this channel to be too big. I've said many times, I want more than 40,000 subscribers or followers on any of my social media platforms. So I could grow this channel a little. I don't want more than 40,000. I don't want to be famous. Ugh. This girl got mad at me because she said it's not her fault I'm broke. Huh? This girl got mad at me because she said is not her fault I'm broke. And I was yelling at me. She is right, but made me angry and got emotional as I was a loser and she had more money than me. You sound very young. Are you under like 26? You sound very young, dude. I couldn't argue as she said facts and told me to fucking leave when she was angry and now we're done. Unfortunately, what should I do? I would never talk to her ever again. I wouldn't tolerate a woman talking to me that way. I don't tolerate drama. She's out. Go fuck 2 new women who are hot. And stop giving a shit about women say to you. Do you think a woman can say to me anything that will make me angry or emotional? Anything? Think about this for a minute, all of you. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because this is Alpha Male 2.0. And I had to work at this. Do you think there is anything, any woman in my life, including my wife, can say to me that'll fucking just enrage me and piss me off and make me emotional? No. What can they say? Fuck you, Caleb. You suck, Caleb. You're overweight, Caleb. What can they say? I hate you, Caleb. I would just laugh. You fuck too many girls, Caleb. And what can they say? That would make me upset. You're Italian, Caleb. I don't like Italians. What? That's why some of you are so confused. I don't care when I have haters. Well, Caleb, won't you sue people? Why do I care? I don't care. You can attack me all you want. You can attack my wife. I don't give a shit. How much money I make? I don't care. You know who I have sex with on a regular basis? I don't care. So you want to get to that point. Outcome independence. Stoicism. It's wonderful. The American dream is really dead. Oh, if the American dream is really dead, is there anywhere where it is something like alive and well? Dubai. You can live the American dream more in Dubai, today's Dubai, not Dubai 12 years ago, today's Dubai than you can in America. Come to Dubai for a week. If you're big on the American dream, starting a business, having a family, getting a nice house, low taxes, raising children in a wonderful environment, come to Dubai. I think you might be surprised. And Dubai is not the only place. Try it before you say, but it's Muslim. Do I look Muslim to you? Places like Paraguay, the UAE don't count. Those places you move to once they've already, these are places you move to once they've already made it. Incorrect. Paraguay has not made it. Paraguay is far below the vast majority of the countries of the world. Paraguay is nowhere near made it. The UAE has made it. Yes. UAE is the top of the food chain. Paraguay is way at the bottom, so you're incorrect. But they're not the places to start out when it comes to wealth creation. Wrong, again. If you do Alpha 2.0, you're location independent. It doesn't matter where you are. You can move to Paraguay and start a business selling to people in London and make millions of dollars. You are incorrect across the board. The crazy thing about my sister, hot neighbor, said that she visited Dubai and said a lot of things you have said about Dubai. Yeah, because I'm right. I have clients who come here. I've had 3 in a row now. They come here either by themselves or with their girlfriends or wives just to visit. And they're like, we're moving here. One of my best friends, long-term friends, was going to move to Finland, I think, with his wife. Comes to Dubai, is like, I'm moving here. We're moving, and with the girl, we're moving here. Another guy, he's like, Dubai, I don't know. I mean, I'll check it out. He's here for a week and a half when it's like hotter than now, hotter in terms of temperature. He's like, I'm moving here. I'm coming here. I'll be here next year. Some of you guys are already here. Is Dubai perfect? No. Is Dubai for everyone? No. Some of you would hate Dubai. Don't come here. A lot of you would fucking love it. The ones you'd hate Dubai, go to Paraguay. Check that out. Don't like Paraguay? Go to check out Armenia. Check out Mexico. There's so many places you can go that you'll like. Don't sit in America or Canada or Western Europe or Australia and bitch and moan all day. That's fucking stupid. Replicant sex robots. Yeah. Have you met a chick who is very similar to you, as it is a bit scary, but it can be attractive as the connection, their thoughts? I've already talked about this. The very first woman I dated after my divorce in 2007 was a female version of me. She was a blonde, big-titted version of me. And we had a fantastic relationship for about 2 months, and then we just fizzled because we're too alike. So the first few weeks were amazing because it's like dating yourself. This is awesome. I mean, it's me in the body of a hot chick. This is perfect. And then, no, you can't date yourself. I'm attracted to women who are the opposite of me. Pink Firefly is the polar extreme opposite to me in almost every respect. That's what turns me on, and that's what maintains a relationship. That's what maintains attraction. Her and I, this first woman, we lost attraction within like 6-7 weeks. We just was gone because we're like too alike. Would you want to fuck you? No. Well, you might want to fuck you. Would you date you? No. That wouldn't turn you on. No. An FB. An FB who's just like you? Great. But you don't date an FB. What do you think of an OLTR posting thirst trap pics on social media? Very obvious pics. You should not care. Outcome independence. I know she can see other people, but it's not discreet. Would this bother you personally? Not one iota. It doesn't matter what a woman posts on her social media. I don't care. And if you care, you have more work to do. Go watch the video I did on Jonah Hill when he freaked the fuck out when his girlfriend is posting surfing videos on her Instagram and just lost his goddamn mind. I talk about how stupid that is. You're going to start drama over pictures she posts on social media? Why? Now, if that really fucking bothers you because your ego is so fragile, dump her and date someone else who doesn't do that. But what are you going to do? Tell her, don't post pics on your soul. I don't look. You're just going to cause drama, and you shouldn't care. If Pink Firefly started posting sexy pics on her soul, I'd be like, cool. I wanted her to do that. I've already said this. I've wanted Pink Firefly for years to develop her own online brand because she's hot. So she get followers a lot faster than me because she's a hot girl. Hot girls get followers a lot faster. Hot blonde Barbie blondes with big titties can get followers really quick. Doesn't matter if she's 44. Doesn't matter. When guys are jerking off, they don't care. So, but she won't do it. She doesn't want to be in the limelight. How will people develop in the developing world that are now struggling under the status quo, e.g. Venezuela, Iran, Zimbabwe, fare compared to Westerners during what is to come? AI, automation, etc. They will be affected by, I'm writing an entire book about this. It's hopefully going to come out in December, maybe January. And I go into that in detail. The summary answer to that question is that it will occur, it will happen, but they will be the last ones affected. If AI takes over, quote, the world, what will AI take over first? The Western first world. United States, Canada, UK, Germany, the usual suspects. Is it going to take over Paraguay? No. Now, if it takes over, quote, the world, could it eventually get to Paraguay? Yes, but it's going to take a long time because Paraguay doesn't have the infrastructure that AI requires. Are there lots of robots in AI? Are there robots in Paraguay? Is there, ubiquitous fiber optic internet everywhere in Paraguay? No, they don't have any of that shit. A little bit in the rich areas. That's it. So it'll affect them last. So if you live in a place like that, AI will affect you last. Do you think prostitution will ever fully become legal? We once said weed and gambling would never be legal, and that happened. You said weed and gambling would be legal. I didn't say that. I said weed will be legal. Go back on my blogs. Now, what have I said on my blogs? Go back and look. I said prostitution in the United States will never be legal across the board. You'll have little areas like Nevada. It will never be legal in the United States, prostitution ever. You could take that to the bank. Why? It is the only issue where right-wing tradcon conservatives and left-wing feministy over 33 women agree. Right? The Republicans, well, that's, prostitution is not clean and it's a sin and you shouldn't do it. It's inappropriate. And you should not, that's gross. And these women are whores and you should, right? And then what do the women say? I don't want my husband fucking a prostitute. Whenever you talk to women over 30, even left-wing women about prostitution, that's the first thing out of their mouths. I don't want my boyfriend fucking a prostitute. Hell no. It's not going to be legal. I'll never make it legal. So the left-wingers and right-wingers agree on that one, unfortunately. Of course it should be legal. It's your body. In the United States. I'm not talking other countries. I'm talking about in the U.S. only. How do you think the future technology will know who you slept with before the technology comes out? It didn't exist then. That question makes no sense. I'm going to try this one more time. How do you think the future technology will know who you slept with before the technology comes out? It didn't exist then. Good point. You're probably right on that. So I'm talking about if the woman is a young woman, right, and she started having sex after this point was reached. So the point, let's say this happens in 2030. She starts having sex in 2031. So now she's 25 and it's now 2037 or whatever. You'll know every guy she's fucked. Prior to that, you're right. And that'll only apply to old people. Are you going to fuck a bunch of old women? Are you going to fuck a bunch of women in their 40s? Probably not, are you? You're going to fuck young girls, and those are the ones who will be affected first. I'm amazed what Saudi Arabia has done with boxing as there will be an event this Saturday promoted by Riyadh season. I'm going to Riyadh. Can't wait for the undisputed title, and everyone is exited. The money is insane. Thoughts? Saudi Arabia, MBS knows that his days are numbered unless he turns Saudi Arabia into the next Dubai. They are more motivated even than Dubai to become the next Dubai. So they're going to do everything in their power, sometimes correctly, sometimes incorrectly. This Neom City, I think, is going to work. But they're going to do everything they can to get people to move there and be accepted by Westerners. You're going to see the greatest strides in freedom and economics in Riyadh specifically over the next 10 years. It's going to shock people. Not because the Saudis are, intelligent, or it's because A, MBS is fucking motivated, and they all are, and B, they've got trillions and trillions of dollars. They have near unlimited funds. You add those two things together, they can do some amazing shit. So yeah, you're right. How will people with no significant network rub shoulders with wealthy individuals to find potential customers or mentors? I wouldn't do that if you're starting from zero. That's too difficult. You don't need billionaires to start a business and make money. When I went from 0 to 6 figures in $1990, I didn't deal with any rich people. I dealt with normal business owners. Deal with normal people. It's easier. And do that later. Once you have some clients, then you can start rubbing shoulders with rich people. If you are really excited about that, there is a book from the 90s called Selling to the Affluent. You could read that book. All kinds of little tricks in there. Let's see, you guys are talking to each other. Okay. I hope starting my own Alpha 2.0 location independent is as achievable as Caleb makes it out to be. It is if you follow my instructions. If you don't follow my instructions, and a lot of people don't, they start what they want to start. They don't niche. That's the big one. They don't fucking niche because they don't want to. They don't sell something, high margin. They don't price properly. They don't market correctly. So if you follow my instructions, it is achievable. Very easy. Takes work. I didn't say it doesn't take work. It takes work. I used to like my job, but the new boss is a nightmare. You waited way too long. I know your name. I've seen your name a lot. You waited way, way, way too long. You should have started your business 3 years ago, buddy. Do you think your dating stuff will become more popular when all this happens? I hope not. I don't want to be popular. I think people will point at it. More people will point at, say, that's what this guy Caleb Jones has been saying since 2009. What's happening now? And they'll say, normal people will say, who's Caleb Jones? Well, he's this guy. Here's a link. So that'll happen, sure. And I'll get some more followers, sure, but I don't think it'll take off. I'm still offensive to most people. Let my wife fuck other men. I'm not fucking. I'm still offensive to most normal people. And women hate my shit. Women still hate my shit, the vast majority. There are some women who love my stuff. The vast majority of women, especially women over 30, I start, saying one or two. I start talking about soft nexting or cardinal rules or dating younger girls, and their heads explode. So that's not going to suddenly change. I have an opportunity to join and inherit a moderately sized book of insurance business in the U.S. I'm currently internationalized into Paraguay. Could I make it fit in the Alpha 2.0 since it's remote? Yes, you could. As long as it's remote, yes, you could. Absolutely. How can it be that it's been 60 years since the invention of the female birth control pill, and there's been no equivalent contraception for men on the market, so he shoots blanks? Conspiracy? No. Very good question. And I thought that too. And then I did the research, and here's the research. Men don't complain about this stuff. The reason they invented the birth control pill for women is that thousands upon thousands, if not millions of women, wrote into the pharmaceutical companies in the 60s saying, please, for the love of God, invent something so I won't get pregnant. And they said out of 100 letters they'd get from women, they'd get 1 or 2 from men. And that maintained all the way into 80s, 90s, 2000s. Men don't complain about it. How often do you see this brought up in like red pill circles? We need male contraceptive, God damn it. Almost never. Men, for some reason, have decided to just not complain about this and dick with their condoms. If they had complained as loudly as women, we would already have a male birth control pill, which we should already have. Now, that's the bad news. Good news is it's coming. Pun intended. It's coming soon. Don't worry. Soon. I don't mean next year or this year, But at some point in your lifetime, you'll be able to just take an injection or something and you won't be able to impregnate anybody. It'll be a wonderful day. And I will do it. I won't be the one of the first ones to do it, but I'll be, I will adopt it. Won't be the early adopter, but I will do it. By then, I can't talk about that. Sorry. Are wealthy male golfers with heart disease a valid niche to present a pharma-free plaque reversal coaching service to? One of the requirements of a niche that you learn in 90 Day Business Builder is you can't make it up. You just made that up. Number one. Wealthy golfers who have heart conditions, you just made that shit up. That's not real. Number one. Number two, you're stating the solution in the niche. You want to sell them something. So you're trying to find a niche that you can sell this thing to. You're thinking backwards. You forget about the solution and find the niche first. So you would say wealthy male golfers with heart disease, period. But that's not a niche. So you're wrong on both ends. So the answer is no. If long-term monogamy did work and you as a man were able to refrain from sex with any other women, would PF be enough for you sexually and emotionally and be content with that? That question literally makes no sense. Caleb, if monogamy worked, and if you didn't want to fuck other girls, would Pink Firefly be enough? You answered your own question, and it's a stupid hypothetical. It makes no sense. Dealing with trust issues for a girl who returned after a listen fitty. Not sure how emotionally available I can be to her now to allow her back into her previous high-end MLTR spot. Has this happened for you? Sure. Make her a low-end MLTR. That's fine. It's happened once or twice. You bet. Low-end MLTR FB. It's fine. It's fine. Your article, How I Protect My Data, is fantastic. Do you have any updates to the systems used for this? Yeah, I do. I should write an update, shouldn't I? What steps should men take today to protect their data? The number one thing is back it up, 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 back it up. And you want to back it up on cloud solutions and physical solutions, both. I back up my backups. I am a maniac about backup because I come from the IT world. And I have seen what happens when people lose their data. When companies lose their data, I've seen it firsthand. When small business owners lose their data, lose 3 years of data, and they can't get it back. I mean, people get suicidal with this shit. I see what happens when authors write entire novels or books and they lose it and they got to write it all over again. It took them a year. I've seen this shit. Back it up, back it up, back it up, then confirm it's backing up. Test the backups. Back it up in cloud and physical, not just cloud and not just physical, both. And when you have an online business like myself, you back up the cloud shit you're using. So I use Kartra, I use Basecamp, I back those up. My team back those up. What if I get banned off Kartra? Could happen in this world. So you back up everything. That's rule number one. I'm a very high empathy man. Okay. And it's not been substantially mitigated by most outcome-independent behaviors in business and non-monogamy. Are there additional techniques you recommend? A little too broad of a question. What is the specific problem you're trying to fix? And I can try to help you. Your question is too broad. I have lots of empathy. How do I help? What do I do, Caleb? It's too broad. Do you know if there are still any proper residencies that can lead to citizenship? Many. There's probably 10 right now. There's many of them. That's very common. Off the top of my head is Argentina. Will lead to it if you stay there. What is the A2 minimum income to pay for sugar babies, assuming you can already bang decent looking women? I don't have a number, and I never specified a number. I just know that if you're making 40,000, you need to make way more than that. I don't know, because I don't know how much you're paying sugar babies, and that depends on where you live. You should be making at least Jesus. And again, it also depends if you have a job. You have a job. So your number is way higher because you're going to pay way more taxes. You're probably paying 40, 50% in taxes. I pay 5%. So you probably need to be making at least 150,000 in your salary, at least. That's a wild guess. So that's why I can't assign a number to it. You make a lot of money, which means at the end of the month, and you're done paying all your bills and doing your lifestyle stuff and investing money, you got a mountain of money left over every month. Because that describes me. So there you go. If I pay sugar babies, I don't even notice the difference in my day-to-day finances. Now, I don't pay them very much because I'm very frugal. So out of Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina, which you know is least hard to obtain residency? Brazil is the hardest. Colombia and Argentina are both relatively easy. Colombia, you buy a house and wait a year. Argentina, you get residency there and wait about 3 years. There. Brazil is a little complicated. I just want to recommend you for patients to read and actually respond to all of these disparate questions, and many of them don't even making any sense at all. You demand. Oh, you want to commend me, not recommend me. Sorry. Well, I have a lot of patience. My first real job when I was a kid, 19, I worked at a technical support department. I talked about this in the Unchained CEO last week. And I worked there for 3 years. This is before they outsourced it to India. And my job was calling up the angry customers because I was one of the few people in the department of 6 people who didn't get mad and offended when customers would scream at me. I'd say, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Other people go, hey, don't talk to me that way. I'll be like, yeah, whatever. I'm just here to collect a paycheck, bro. You can yell at me all you want. I don't run this company. Go ahead. So anyway, I have a lot of experience talking to dumbasses, angry people, morons, irrational people. So I just built up that resistance over the many years. So, and then being an influencer certainly helps. Being an online personality, you get a lot of weirdos and you're like, okay. Or people, there's also, to be fair, there's a lot of people in the audience who speak English as a second language. So I'm trying not to be mean because that could be someone from Eastern Europe or something and their English isn't that great. So I try not to be mean. I try to assume the best. So if I'm with a hardcore monogamous Filipino woman and want to not be monogamous, you can do non-monogamy Filipino women. I've done many. And she's the most submissive woman I've ever had in my life. You recommend me to leave her and start this new life I want. I know I have options, but I know what record. No, I don't recommend that. I recommend you convert. Get my book on how to convert. Go to store.calebjones.com. I have an entire mini course on how to convert from monogamy to non-monogamy with the same girl. If you've been a good boyfriend or good husband, your odds of success are at least 70%, which are pretty good. If you've been an a-hole, then your odds are lower, but that's your fault. Which things must contain a blood test in order to accurately analyze your T levels? The big four, here they are. Testosterone, total, and you can do free if you want. Total is a better number, but free is helpful. Testosterone, estradiol, which is your estrogen, your thyroid, specifically T3. When they run thyroid, you'll get T3, T4, and TSH. You want T3, that's the most important one. And lastly, you want vitamin D. You want to run all four of those. And they'll give you a very accurate picture of where you are hormonally. I run those four every once a year these days, and I'm always on perfect levels. My company just laid off 500 people today. Oh, they just laid off 500 people today at my company. Caleb, luckily I wasn't one of them. Again, not fun. Okay. KB Titan 24, start your own fucking Alpha 2.0 business. Like the other guy, I've seen your name a lot here. You should have started your business at least a year or two ago. What the fuck are you doing, people? You guys have been following my content. You drive me crazy for years and years, and you've never started your Alpha 2.0 business. You're just hanging around. The fuck you doing? You're not like all the other idiots who don't know my content. You don't have that excuse. Ignorance is not your excuse. So what's your excuse? Stop being a pussy and get to work. If you can't afford 90-Day Business Builder, get the Alpha 2.0 business course. If you can't afford that, get my book, Big Income from Little Work. Get something, or if you can't afford anything, then watch my free content and get to fucking work. Why are you waiting to have your head chopped off by Western collapse? Why are you doing this? Let's see. Do you think Western hegemony, Pax Americana, will end completely and will enter a multipolar world order? That is exactly what will occur. Multipolar is exactly what will happen. Long term, not tomorrow. If so, how will it change the quality of life of people around the world? Anyone living in the West will experience a dramatic loss in quality. That's the only, everything else we don't know. China's a wild card. Russia's a wild card. India's kind of lumber along. It depends. But people in the West will have a decreased lifestyle, which is why you shouldn't live in the West. But that's exactly what will happen. Most likely, you will not have one big superpower or two big superpowers, which is what most human beings alive are accustomed to. You'll have several big middle powers. You'll have China, you'll have India, maybe Russia, maybe a diminished United States. You probably won't have Germany. Germany will be gone. Stuff like that. Maybe Saudi Arabia, middle powers. It's going to be really interesting. And some of that is good. Competition is a good thing. You could argue, and I have argued, that because of America's dominance over the world since the collapse of the Soviet Union, a lot of innovation has slowed. Peter Thiel has entire books about this. He's right. Because, America will take care of it. And America doesn't have this competition of the Russians anymore. Why do you think we haven't gone back to the moon since the 60s? You see what I'm saying? So when you have a multipolar society, world, I should say, that's actually probably a good thing. 4, 5, 6 middle powers all competing with each other. Yes, you might have some wars. That's the bad news. But the good news is you're going to see innovation come back, I think, in a big way, which you haven't seen in a long time. My focus is to both improve my woman life and business life, but I feel like when I work on my woman life, I'm supposed to be focused on my business life. How to fix this mindset? Pick one. Don't do both. That's too much for a lot of people. Pick one. In your case, are you the guy who just had the company get laid off? Yeah. Your case, forget women right now. Build your business. What do you think about Elon at Trump's rally? I saw it and I don't care. If you guys elect Trump, your country is fucked. If you guys elect Kamala, your country is fucked. Therefore, none of this matters. Build your Alpha 2.0 business, get your international backup plan, and or move out of the country. And if you don't have plans to do either of those things, you're fucked and you're irrational. Did you watch Dogtanian as a kid? What the hell? I've never heard of that one. Boys don't have any good cartoons these days. Boys aren't allowed to have good cartoons these days because the culture says if you have a cartoon for boys, it needs to appeal to girls too. If you have a cartoon for girls, it can just appeal to girls. Watch what happened last time they came out with the He-Man series that Kevin Smith did. He-Man wasn't in it. It was all about Tila. And when we complained, I didn't complain, I don't care. But when you guys complained about it, society said, hey, you need to have a show that both men and women can enjoy. And then you're like, you have She-Ra. That's for girls. Did you make that for men too? I saw the Barbie movie last year with my wife. I didn't see any tanks or helicopters or explosions or big giant titties in that movie to appeal to men too. So that's why boys don't have good TV shows. I intend to be a contributor to resolve some of this as best I can when we reintroduce the Black Dragon and Pink Firefly comic book. My fantasy goal with AI, I probably shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this yet, but I'm going to. My objective is to pump that comic book up because that did really well when I gave it to all you guys. That was the field test and it worked. To pump up that comic and then turn it into an animated series. A rated R, for men, politically incorrect, 1980s style comedy fantasy series. Closest thing you've got to that is the animated series Legend of Vox Machina, which is the second season is pretty good. There's some woke shit in that a little bit, but it's pretty good. Ours is going to be better if we get that far. We'll see. On the empathy question and clarification, particularly, I feel lots of negative emotions when I can identify visible disappointment on the face of an FB when I kick them out of the house. Stop kicking FBs out of your house. When they come over, you say, look, I have to get up tomorrow at blah, 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 blah. So we have to wrap this up by 10:30. Is that okay? And she'll say, oh, okay. So now she knows around 10:30 she needs to leave. Don't kick women out of your house. I don't kick women out of my house. I'm nice to women. Are there still any paper residencies, as in where you don't have to physically reside, but you can lead to citizenship after a number of years? Your question makes no sense. Paper residencies or paper citizenship? We represent 4 countries where you don't need to live there to get residency. Mexico, Armenia, Dubai, Paraguay. You don't need to live there to get residency. If you're asking about, can you get citizenship? Yes, you can get that from Armenia without living there. Yes. It's hard, but you can do it. For business, I feel awful when I let down a customer or failed to deliver, even if the consequences are next to nothing and the client isn't that upset. Okay, that's a problem. That's almost like a mental problem. And I'm not a psychologist, but I would talk to somebody. My guess is I'm not a psychologist, but my dad was. I know a little bit about this stuff. There's something, if you're getting that awful, you said you feel awful when it's a little tiny thing, something from your childhood. You might need to talk to somebody. Thanks for your content. I have applied for Dominican citizenship and should receive it within 6 months. Awesome. Fantastic. A+. That's great. Caleb, I met you in London. I'm getting over recent heartbreak. Cool. Not cool you're getting over heartbreak. It's cool that I met you in London. Getting over recent heartbreak, one-itis, and an FB came over the other day and felt 100 times better. So guys, listen to what he's saying. David W., listen to what he's saying. How do I get over an ex? You go fuck 1 or 2 really hot girls. That's how you get over an ex. That works. Now, does it work 100%? No, but it works. I've slept with 4 girls since the breakup last month. Fantastic. Another A+. Good job. God damn, I love you guys. Finally, some positive comments of people actually doing this shit. Good. Why would Germany be gone in the coming world? Germany's fucked. Germany's going to collapse first. That's why. That's a pretty strong statement. Can you please clarify? Go back on my my Unchained CEO channel. Look for Germany. I give the analysis of Germany. Go to my blog. I give some analysis of Germany. Germany is the first Western country that's going to go under. Germany is fucked. Get the fuck out of Germany. Are we going to get a Dubai apartment tour? I should do that, shouldn't I? I did it for Paraguay, right? My Dubai apartment is even smaller. It's nicer. Yes, I will do that. Matter of fact, I will have someone assist me as a camera woman to do that. Yeah, I'll do that. It's a good idea. I was going to do that actually last year. I just renewed the lease on this apartment. I'll get a different apartment next year. There's things I got to do in my life before I move again, which I'll talk about maybe later this month. So yeah, it's probably a good idea. Probably should do that. All right. How are we doing on time? Okay. I got to go. Do I have an announcement this week? If you want to hang out with me over a private live stream where I stream my entire life for 12 hours a day, 4 days in a row, next month in November, you can go to www.caleb.top/shadow. And I show you everything, including women I'm with, including how I work, how I structure my day, how I manage my time, how I manage my finances, how I manage I show you everything. I've never done this before. So you want to do that, you can still sign up. The deadline is November 2nd, I think. So you got like 4 more weeks. Don't have a lot of time. So if you're interested in that, all the details are at and you got to type www.caleb.top/shadow. There's a hard deadline for that because I do it on November 8th and the deadline's November 2nd. It's on that website. Plus, there's a limited number of people who I will allow on this private live stream. I can't have 100 people on there asking me questions all day. A bunch of people have already signed up. So there's already people in the queue. And yes, some of you have asked, you will get a copy of all the video. So you don't have to be there live. I will give you all the video. It's going to be gigs and gigs of video. Hope you have a big hard drive. 12 hours of video times 4. What is that? 48? 48 hours of video. So a lot of gigabytes of video, but I'll give it to you. Sure. I will give you a copy of all the video. Cool. All right. I got to go. I'll see you guys on Monday for Unchained CEO, 1 p.m. EST. Cool. All right.